Who bought that one?
You ready?
Car wash on Maple.
I'm ready.
So,
I'll call to order the City Council meeting of February 26th, 2024. Time is 7 p.m. Opening prayer. Jamie.
All right, perfect. If we could all rise. Let us pray. God of peace, we invite you to preside over this meeting. Even if we have different opinions, give us the unity of spirit. Help us to each listen politely as others share their points of view. Help us to work as a unified team in combining ideas for a great outcome. Help us to work as a whole rather than as individuals trying to promote their own agendas. May we have a spirit of camaraderie in this room and work together on our shared mission. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you please call the roll?
Member Matheny?
Here.
Member Schroy?
Here.
Member McLeister?
Here.
Member Owens?
Here.
Member Wyrick?
Here.
And Member Orr?
Here.
6 present.
Take a motion to excuse Member Wynn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, quick note. My sunglasses are not a fashion statement tonight. I had eye surgery, so just want to put that on record. Can I have a motion and a second to approve as presented the minutes from February 12th?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, no one signed up for the first. First we'll do the special presentations. At this time, Andrea Lang from the library.
All right, does everyone have a copy of the annual report, including fair flyer? Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for carving out a little bit of time for me this evening. My name is Andrea Legg, and I'm the director of the Canton Public Library. I'm here to briefly share our library's annual report and to talk about some of the work that my staff and I have been up to since I last visited in February of 2023. So before launching into that, I want to take some time to thank our mayor.
Andrea, could you speak up a little
Sure,
bit? Thanks.
sure. I always think I have a microphone, but I never do. I want to take some time to thank our mayor, our council, and our city administration for their continued support of and cooperation with our library. Because of the partnership that our two entities share, our library has been able to sustain successful senior programming at the North Canton Civic Center. We've been able to continue our summer series of concerts. We've been able to maintain a story walk at Dogwood Park, and we've been able to keep our buildings safe and comfortable thanks to our NCP. Our library staff and I don't take this positive collaboration for granted, and will always be grateful to you for being so willing to work with us. So anyway, let's take a quick look at some of the numbers, and I'll try to provide some context as we review. So I'm going to be starting on this side of this document. So last year, our library checked out over 760,000 items. This includes physical materials like books, DVDs, and magazines, and it also includes digital materials like ebooks, digital audiobooks, and digital magazines. We saw over 130,000 patrons pass through our doors, and we welcomed over 36,000 people to the 955 programs we hosted last year. One of the trends that I've noticed since the pandemic is the different ways that our community is using their library. And these numbers do a lot to tell that story. We've seen a pretty significant dip in the number of physical items that people are checking out. But we've seen a huge increase in the number of digital items that our patrons are using. Statistics in those areas are at all-time highs. The same can be said for our programming. This year, we've seen the most number of attendees at our programs than ever before, even pre-pandemic. So it's kind of an interesting dichotomy where these numbers are showing that people would prefer to check out their digital books at home and kind of, get into their little nooks and not really have to come into our building, but they still want to come into the library to participate in activities and connect with other people. So I included a couple of quotes from our patrons who have really benefited from our programs there on that side of the document. The first one is from a patron whose mom actually attends our senior programs at the Civic Center. The second one is from a person who attended one of our maker classes that was hosted by our fabulous tech trainer, Carol Ann. And then the third one is just something really flattering that I pulled from our Google reviews. So a couple more numbers to note. We created 2,695 new library cards for new users. That's a 5-year high for us. And another area we've seen a huge demand in public use for is our meeting rooms. Last year, our meeting rooms were reserved almost 400 times in a year span, and that's in addition to all of the times our rooms are being used by our staff for their meetings or for our programs that they're running. So if the library seems like a busy place when you visit, it's not just you, it's really happening. So on the flip side of the report, you can see some of our most popular materials that checked out this year. Anyone who has a child in grade school understands how popular Dave Pilkey is, and that's why the book Dog Man, Mothering Heights is on this list. I think it's going to be on this list as the most popular book checked out for the next decade, because he just keeps churning them out. So our most popular programs by way of attendance are also included there also at the end of that document. Our Family Film Fridays at Whitwell Park are always a grand slam, and we saw 300 guests attend last summer. We had a local magician, Rick Smith Jr. He hosted an all-ages magic show at the Civic Center in August that attracted 250 guests. We also hosted a Dino Roar show in November at the Civic Center that brought Jurassic Park to life for kids and adults, and that brought in 166 guests. And then last spring's Inclusion Fair brought in 150 attendees. And as a side note, I also included a flyer for our upcoming Inclusion Fair. It's coming up, this is our second annual, last year was our first annual. It's coming up March 2nd from 1 to 3 p.m. I hope you will consider sharing about this event or possibly attending with your families. We're going to have 14 or more stations set up throughout the library building. Each of those stations will focus on either an organization, a resource, or a piece of equipment that someone with a disability may use to navigate daily life. It will give kids a chance to ask questions, explore different resources, different equipment, and to kind of foster those connections so that the next time they see someone out in public who are using these items, they don't stare or point and they actually engage with that person. So we want to foster empathy and compassion with that event, and last year was such a great experience that we decided to do it again this year. We also made some substantial progress in our first year of our 3-year strategic plan. Those milestones are shown on the right-hand side of your sheet there. We upgraded our online catalog that would provide a better user experience when someone searches for whether an item is in our collection or not. We also replaced our self-checkout stations so that they're easier for patrons of all mobility types to use. We replaced all of our exterior book drops with eye-catching models that are a lot less rusted and rickety. And then we also renovated our lower level community room and staff lounge to better accommodate the needs of each of those areas. And last, we became a certified U.S. passport acceptance facility in November of 2023. And that has easily become one of our most popular services of all time. We are averaging about 80 passport applications a month, which is just mind-blowing to me. So that's all that I have. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but again, thank you for the support that you've shown our library, our staff, and our programs. And thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Any questions or comments for Andrea?
I'd like to make a comment. Well, Ms. Lake, thank you for continuing the legacy of our North Canton Public Library. And the resource that it provides for our community is, there may not be enough words to really describe all the good things you have brought and your staff have brought over time. Right, it covers social, activity, physical activity, emotional activity for our residents and for our visitors. And your report tonight is exceptional. Appreciate you coming forward. I enjoy this at least once a year, and we welcome you back again next year. At least I do. And I think council does. But we do have a gym right here in the heart of our city. And when you go through all that you provide, your staff, and I appreciate the collaboration and cooperation and communication we've been able to share these last few years. And if we want to go back in time just a little bit, I remember this young employee, Christina Wyrie, came to me when I was chief of police and says, Mayor Wilder, or Officer Wilder, Luke, Chief Wilder, whatever I'm called. Could we do something in Whitworth Park, maybe like a movie or something like that? And here we are to this day. So continuing on with those things. But I just want to say thank you very much for you and your staff and your patience as we provide other opportunities for parking for your patrons and things like that. So just be patient. Time will, will be good on our side. So once again, on behalf of the city administration and city council, thank you for your report.
Very well said. What is the Public Library is? I mean, I feel like I learned something new that you do that's different from other libraries every time. So it's we're very lucky.
I'd also like to comment that just on the quantitative side, if you appreciate the concern that the library had with the expansion of the school and why it's so important for them to have parking. We know that there's going to be a plan put in the spring to move some things around so that there will be parking. But if you take the 131,101 visitors and conservatively, if we divided that by 1.5 passengers per car, it could actually be lower than that. Giving the benefit of the doubt, that comes up to about 87,000 unique visits divided by 365 days in the year. Private libraries open every day, right? That's an average of 240 cars a day. There are quick service restaurants that would like that number. And the library doesn't have, a drive-through, so to speak. So it is an inconvenience to people. That's how much volume of traffic that they get. So we're looking forward to that project taking place in the spring to help it.
I just want to add, if I can, the senior program, so thankful for the library and, to think we came together at one point and said, we want to do this. You said we have staff, no space. We said we have space here, but no staff, and that collaboration. My mom's turning 90 on Monday. And she likes, she wants to come more. She came to the Christmas, Mayor was there,
That's
came
right.
to the wonderful Christmas program, and it was a really great day, and really got to appreciate everybody. And I got to talk with all the seniors, how much they love the programs, and they're so glad we finally have senior programming in the community, and that's thanks to you, Adrian, and
Well,
Christina, and everybody at the library that makes it happen.
yeah, I just said yes, and they did the important work, booking the speakers and, getting everything organized. So, yeah,
Thank you.
it's all done.
Thank you. All right. We don't have anyone that signed up for the first public speaking sessions. Moving on to old business. Ben, would you please read the title of ordinance 8-2024?
An ordinance declaring improvements to real property within the city to be a public purpose, declaring such property to be exempt from real property taxation, requiring the owners of the real property to make service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing an urban redevelopment tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of service payments, and authorizing the Director of Administration to enter into a tax increment financing service agreement and a development agreement with the property owner.
Okay, this is the TIF, and I'm going to turn this over to Patrick for an update.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. And I would like to update council and make a request to postpone this to March 11th, the next regular meeting. The school and the developers have been in close dialogue and negotiation, and we believe that they have reached a tentative agreement that will be the subject of a special school board meeting this Friday, March the 1st. So we certainly would like to make sure that we afford the school every opportunity they can to secure the items they need for their growth. And if that be the case and that turns out to occur on March 1st, we have advised our legal counsel that we expect final documents from IRG to be in our hands on March the 4th so that I can distribute to council approximately a week ahead of the March 11th.
Any comments, questions?
Well, what happens if they want another week or two or something of that nature? We've been down this before, and this is like the most promising news we've had in a long, long time.
Yes, we've been down this path since 2007. It's been a long time. But we've never broached these subjects in these delicate matters before with them. And so I think that they're earnest in getting it done. There are, as I understand it, particular concerns with the parcel that the school would pick up. And so there are some significant environmental discussions that have to take place.
Mm-hmm.
And for everybody to get their head wrapped around that. So I believe that all has been accomplished, and so that there shouldn't be any reason why this doesn't move forward from school on March the 1st. And then we'll get a look at that agreement after it passes and see how it affects language that we have in our TIP and see if we need to make any
Changes.
accommodations. I would imagine, although I don't have the particulars, but have been involved in enough real estate transactions of late, that the school would probably have some type of due diligence period to explore the geotechnicals and the environmental to that site as it might impact their development needs. So there'll probably be a period of time after this is passed on Friday, if it in fact passes, that they have to decide if everything meets their standard and their legal standards. If that's the case, then we would expect to move this through City Council then at some point in March. Start talking about it. I don't think we can get through it April.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Pat.
Pat.
Your question?
Yeah.
Trying to.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyone else? Comments, questions? I'm going to make a motion to postpone ordinance 8-24, 2024 until the next regular council meeting, which would be March 11th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to new business. Can I have a motion and a second to suspend Council Rule 23 to allow for consideration of what will become ordinance 25-20?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Ben, would you please read the title of ordinance 25-2024?
An ordinance authorizing the appropriation of funds of the City of North Canton to be appropriated for current expenses during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024.
So this is the Finance and Property Committee. Jim, you over there?
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
So this is increasing appropriations, 40,000 for Apple Grove and Main Street bollards for my left turn. And this is also for $161,800 capital fire account, for $150,000 of that being a demo, multiple buildings, $6,800 being for new plat for the new fire station site, and then $5,000 for revision. And we're expecting around $150,000 grants to
The grant, the state grant?
DOD and SBOP.
County Land Bank is the other one.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, thanks.
Any comments, questions on this? I'm going to make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 25-2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And can I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules of council requiring two readings?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And can I have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 25-24, 2024 under suspension of the rules?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ben or Liam, could you please read the preamble for the second part of the public speech?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, members of the public who have signed up to address City Council will be called to do so. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes. Speakers shall be called in the order they signed up. During this section, comments shall be limited to topics reasonably under the authority of the city. Rules for speaking and the speaker's time will appear on the screens. After you have finished speaking, please remain at the podium to answer questions from officials at the dais. This will serve as the final warning for all speakers. Any violation of the rules will result in ejection from the premises.
Mr. Eric Smurr, that was for you specifically.
Well, good evening, Eric Smurr, 919 Spangler Road, Canton, 447. To members of council, administration, city at large, and greater North Canton community, my name is Eric Smurr, and as president, I proudly represent this evening a group of dedicated and energetic volunteers, the North Canton JCs. My presidential theme is Believe in We. Since 1946, this group of young men and women under the age of 40 have continued to believe and have called North Canton home by our creed. We believe. In our 78 years, our volunteers have made a big bang in this community, most notably for 23 minutes on the 4th of July, as we all enjoy our charitable fundraising efforts, lighting up the sky with fireworks over the Hoover District. That faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life. Perhaps that purpose to clean and stuff thousands of Easter egg hunt plastic eggs each year. That the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations. Our JC Fair since 1951 has brought a summer brotherhood together for a twaddle funnel cake or Otterbacher fries from across the region, state, and even nations. That economic justice can best be won by free men through free enterprise. Our own enterprise each December is selling hot dogs and concessions at the North Canton Library's Winterfest to help local families in need. That government should be of laws rather than of men. A shout out here to Kemp, Cohen, Masu, and others when we're alongside the men and women of the North Canton Fire, EMS, police, and the YMCA with coordinating Safety Town for each year's incoming kindergartners. And that Earth's great treasure lies in human personality. Our membership is gifted with lots of personality, character, and talents from across local communities and backgrounds. And lastly, that service to humanity is the best work of life. Because at the end of the day, our volunteer service and community work yield the greatest joy when you see a kid smile along the 4th of July parade route. We share our creed tonight as we share sincere thanks for 78 years together. Some of you around the room are former JCs, life members, or honorary members, and we thank you. In addition to our public thanks, we wish to come before you to spare some surprise, set the record straight of our major changes, and to publicly invite your continued council collaboration. We congratulate the North Canton City Schools on passing their levy and transforming the future landscape of 7th Street. This development, along with other city constraints, have forced us to the unsought cancellation or relocation of the Easter egg hunt, the JC Fair, the 4th of July celebration in the park, and the fireworks. With losing our signature events and support after 78 years, we've respectfully felt an identity crisis similar to what this community experienced when losing the Hoover Company. We discussed our future forward, options to survive, as we were pushed to explore outside of North Canton, and our creed prevailed. Now, as we evolve to the new Start Community JCs, we have instituted some new collaborations. We invite all to kick off our new year with our new adult egg hunt, March 24th in downtown Madison. To our partners, vendors, concessionaires who rely on the fair circuit, we thank you for your patience as we navigated these unprecedented times, and you'll now be the first to learn of our new event. We look forward to reinvigorating the JC Fair at a new location to be announced soon. And over the coming weeks, we look forward to any invitation from this council to retain other events or continue our community impact and traditions where possible. We hope to work with this council on open communication and to find the means to continue to partner, whether Safety Town, 4th of July Parade, or finding a solution to replace our location and our lack of fair funding for the fireworks. We may be forced to continue some of our events elsewhere in the greater Stark community, but community is in our new name, and that will continue to include North Canton for us. We thank you again, and we look forward to more time and conversational updates together.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you very much.
Now, Eric, I got a question. Can we, the Easter egg hunt, you have that over in Maslin?
Correct.
We probably could have done that maybe right across the street at Bryce Park.
So we are doing a completely different event this year. We are doing an adult Easter egg hunt, and we're doing it as part of a bar crawl. So we decided to reinvent the whole event since we are having to relocate anyway. Why not change it all?
Okay. Okay, I hate to see certain things leave, sort of a tradition here in town, but okay,
We do too.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for speaking this evening. I can personally vouch for the dedication that these young men and women have in the community. I might be slightly biased as a former president and a life member, but they are wonderful people, and I'm glad to hear that the organization will continue on. So, yeah, like John said, we'll definitely be in touch too.
Yeah. Now, on your, I know it's been tough getting some people now with the name and the change in name and stuff. Has that been able to help you draw some more?
So for many years, our membership has been made up of people from across Stark County and even into Summit County.
Yeah.
So as we've been discussing this since November, when we officially made the vote as our chapter to pursue this option, we have actually added some new members from Perry, from Maslin, from Jackson, and our next closest neighboring JC chapter is the Hudson JCs. So we now can embrace the whole county as the only chapter in this region.
Good, that's good.
Eric, Trevor, I've loved working with you guys, and I know we will continue to work together. Thank you. I'm sorry that things have gone this way, but I know you'll continue to do really strong work. I'm just grateful for everything you've done.
Right back at you, and we look forward to doing things with both the city and the library. So thank you, Christina. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Okay. So, final call for new business.
You're skipping all the reports?
Oh, yeah.
It's the sunglasses.
I'm not. All right, well, I guess we'll do. Tech.
We're working on some traffic calming control devices in the Apple Grove Main Street area. To figure that out completely, we'll be sure to bring that back to council and illustrate, with slides and whatnot, what we intend
It's not like a bad day.
to do there that will work. And we are looking forward to some additional economic development news that will be coming out shortly, we hope. So I'll leave it hanging with that. We had great productive meetings today. And we then are moving on with our annexation of the property that the city owns on the western side of Stark County, on the western side of North Canton, I should say. And collaboration with the Stark County commissioners, were asked to join with us in this annexation partnership with Jackson Township. So that is requiring us to replat the area with surveyors and added a few weeks onto our agenda. We had hoped to have filed by now. Spoke with the commissioner's office today, and we had a very productive conversation, and we're just waiting to get this surveying done before we can move forward. It looks clear sailing from there. There's some development opportunities that we're working on right now for that location. I think that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thanks, Pat.
Mayor?
Yes, thank you, President Story. First of all, again, congratulations to our retired fire chief, John Bacon, had a great send-off. That's a week ago, Friday. Welcome again to Chief Drew Kramer, his new role as a leader for our fire and EMS department. I just want to remind everybody, it's in our North Canton Sun newspaper, but again, just for our city's asking all North Canton water customers to complete their private water service line material self-testing, self-reporting by the 8th first. So just wanted to kind of remind people about. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I've been prompted. How many council members have completed their?
It's on my list.
I think Dave has one.
How many have it on their list?
How many city employees have?
Yeah.
All city buildings have been logged. Thank you very much.
You didn't show me this
All
one.
city buildings have been done.
The mayor has completed his and
Administrator.
received successful completion, and Chief Kemp has done it. So just a friendly reminder.
Or
there.
two.
Okay, everybody. And there's a just again, Spectrum is doing some solicitation again now through March the 3rd, and they'll be they have a soliciting permit and all the credentials, but just again, this now through March the 3rd, they're soliciting for Spectrum. That's all I can say. Sorry about that. And yes, I was going to include the North Canton Public Library Inclusion Fair. So that's already, you have that in front of you. And that's on March the 2nd. Some of us may not be able to attend that because we're going to a Stark County Law update. And that's at RG Drage from about 8 to 3. So if I'm not there, I'll be there in spirit. So, and just so you all know, again, Hoover High School is hosting an opportunity fair on this Thursday, February the 29th. And it's at 10:45 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. That's for juniors, seniors, and adults in our community. And this includes students from Hoover, Glen Jackson, and Lake High Schools. And adult community members are permitted to attend after 2:30, okay? So after 2:30, we're allowed to attend. But again, it's organizations are coming together, businesses, to provide education and training that will help our students reach their goals in their next phases of life. So I think this might be something good that if we have time to stop by in the afternoon, be worthy to stop by and see what's going on for them. And Eric, thanks again for your presentation. As an honorary member of the North Canton JC, and I understand your title, going greater. Would you repeat it for me again?
Start community JCs.
Start community JCs. And I can see you encompassing more participants and members and spreading out your activities, throughout the county. And I get that. And that's a good way for you to go and to support it. I have to say, you've been a part of the fabric of North Canton for so many years, and I'm sure we're going to host some more things, here in our city in the future for the JCs. And I guess, with the new schools coming in, maybe that is a good dilemma to have, okay? But at least you look at it positively and knowing that we're working on the future for our community. And your organization is very worthy, along with several of our community service organizations, nonprofit organizations. You've accomplished a lot. You've touched a lot of lives, and you brought good things to our community. So I'm willing to support you in any way that I can, as I always have. Okay, and but we'll see what opportunities. There's challenges and opportunities that we're facing, along with some of our other nonprofits in the community. So, thank you very much. And with that, I'm done.
All right, thank you. Jim? Clerks?
No report.
Looking, Peter?
Keep up with the lead service lines.
All right, let's move on to council appointments. Jamie?
I just want to remind everybody to check their water service lines, and it is on my desk at home, so I'm hoping we have a different report next time, so fingers crossed. In all seriousness, I want to tag on to what the mayor said about Chief Bacon. Just want to wish him, happy retirement. I had the opportunity to go to the party over there at the fire department, and then, man, I don't know if anybody saw the video online of his final. What's that technically called? Is it like last call or something? I guess last call is over at the egg hunt bar crawl, but no, the last call. And my gosh, talk about an awesome moving video. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you guys to go and take a look at it. It was really cool. So,
Is it called Bringing On the Bacon?
the other thing, let's see. I want to thank certainly the JCs and thank Andrea for your presentation as well. Lastly, I don't know that can actually have a report, but I am excited to share that I've been invited by former Councilman Greg Sarbaugh to attend the Lions Club meeting tomorrow. And so I'm looking forward to, this is my second meeting at the Lions Club, so looking forward to seeing what they have to share. So,
And I had one item to add on your report about Woodrow.
I didn't know if we wanted to talk about that. Yeah. So yeah, I can describe it if you want to fill in the blanks. So I think the residents might see that there have been some trees that have been cut down on Woodrow. So this is part of a multi-phase process to address the trees that have been damaged by AEP because they were getting up into power lines and then also damaging the sidewalks. So in an effort to get rid of trees that are dying, dead, or decaying because of the work that we've done with AEP, and to save our sidewalks. The trees have been through a portion of the street last year were removed and sidewalks repaired, and I think we saw a major effort this past week to remove some other trees. So this will be something that will continue. Trees that are between the sidewalk and the street will be removed. However, there is another phase to this process. So after the trees are removed, after the sidewalks are repaired, the city will be looking to replace those trees with trees that will, A, not get up into the power lines and necessitate butchering at the hands of AEP, or B, pop up our sidewalks. So while people who live on that street now may not feel that it's Woodrow, we really do, and this is super corny, we are going to return the wood to Woodrow at some juncture in the future. And I think we will look to have some sort of a community meeting with the residents that would be affected. Hopefully, I don't know, do you have a time frame which you would like to do that?
Well, I think
Q1, Q2?
probably start putting that together, because the ideal time to plant these trees will be in the fall. And it's been our intent to restore Woodrow to what it once was.
Yep.
It was a canopy lined kind of street. But then you so aptly described what has occurred there.
Right.
But we intend to make this a walking corridor that will unite Pittsburgh to Main Street.
And I think in the meeting that we were a part of with the folks from Rice's back, when was that? It was last fall. The pictures that I saw, I think would truly make it a destination street again. Maybe not just walking, but people would be happy to drive down that street and certainly happy to live there. So there are good things coming over there in Ward 1 or in Woodrow. So anything else you want to add to that, or okay? Cool. That's pretty much it.
All right, thanks, Shane. David?
Just a few comments. I think that as tonight's meeting went, there's a lot of change taking place, a lot of change taking place in our community, and that brings with it many challenges. City Council's goal is to do what's best for our community and what's best for our neighbors and our neighborhoods. I ask everybody to remain positive. Look for ways for you to participate. Look for opportunities where you can get involved. Seek how you can participate in this change so that we can have a community that we're all proud of, where we can help our neighbors and help our community grow. Thank you.
Very well said. Melissa?
Thank you. So the mayor and I and Christina had a chance to participate in a really neat event, and I didn't realize it was the first event of its size in the area. So Tom Todd Ideas is an organization here in Stark County, and they hosted an event at the First Christian Church for all the middle schoolers, so seventh graders from North Canton Middle School. The whole class came, and they participated in a really cool all-day event there where they were talking about community. The event was called the Community Connection Conference, I think. Creative Community Conference. That was close. And so they interviewed in rounds folks from the community, us. So I got to talk to like about 6 or 7 different groups of middle school students throughout the day, which was an amazing opportunity for me. I think I got just as much out of it as they did. And it was cool to hear what they value about the community, what's important to them, to hear in their own words, some of the things that we think are true. Hearing those things reflected back to you at that age, I think is pretty cool. And 7th graders are pretty fun to hang out with. One of the groups, as they started asking me questions, I was like, these are really great questions. And so I was sort of transferring the questions back to them and making me answer. And one little boy was like, hey, she's interviewing us. What's happening here? But it was really cool for me to hear. And the things that I value about North Canton, the things that we think folks value about North Canton in this context of talking about community and what does your ideal community look like and all of that, hearing from them on their own, the things that they value are that it's safe to live here, that we have great schools, and we have exceptional services. They might have said that one in a little bit different language, but that's basically what I heard. And it was cool to hear that, even the great schools thing, they even said that. 7th graders don't always love school, but they recognize that. And so it was cool to hear that reflected back and some of the ideas that they had and things that they think about the city. And that's the job up here. And being new to this side of the table, it was cool for me to see that perspective and hear that from them, because that's the thing that you're always trying to do is make sure that the things that you're doing, or the things that you vote on, represent those 3 things, that the community values. And so just getting that touch point with them was really cool. The other thing I got a chance to do was go on a tour of the fire station with Ben and Liam over here, and Bryant and Doug. I'm always afraid I'm going to mess up somebody's name. They give us a really great tour and got a chance to talk to them and hear about what it's like from their perspective. And I actually got to spend some time with Ben ahead of time at City Council or at City Hall, asking questions about his work with the fire department, the things that they had done together. And it was very cool for me to hear. So in my professional career, I'm a business analyst and I work with leaders. And so this is right in my wheelhouse when you look at how are you looking at the things that you're doing? How are they making sense? What are smart decisions for your organization to make? And so hearing about the work that Ben and the fire department administration and the fire department have done collaboratively to look at what does the data look like? What are our challenges look like? What are the needs of our community? How do we pair all of those things together and make decisions that make sense? And so it was cool for me to pair learning with Ben about some of the history of the things that he and the city administration have worked on with an experience of going to the fire station, getting to see things that were going on over there and meeting the people and putting them on the spot in front of Ben and ask like, hey, this is what I've heard. Is this, do you think the same thing? And what do you think about this? And how do you feel about the decisions that you've heard about so far? And how do you feel about the future? And it was very cool to get a chance to make all of those connections and to see how, how they've adapted over time to make the things that they have work. But also all of the opportunity. I said when I left the tour, it's easy to understand when you take a tour here for just a few minutes, how these facilities don't really meet the needs that they have. And so I would welcome anybody that ever gets a chance to go to an open house or do something like that, to take advantage of that. And it was cool to see how they are open to changes to make things better and to working in partnership with everyone, from the administration. But also to hear how much we're in a relationship with our emergency services departments in the city. I heard them talk about, that they're a family and how much they love working here in the city and that commitment that exists between the city. We value that safe community and they value that relationship that they have with us. So I appreciate that experience. I thank Ben and Liam and the folks from the fire department for getting that opportunity. For sure.
Good.
Thank you. John?
I had a couple of questions, but Ben had helped me through them. I needed to understand a little bit more about the water line, so I'll get on that and have that done. When I went down to look at it, there was some stuff I didn't like, and I want to send it so it could be perfect like Dave over there. We were having, Matt Stroy and myself are having coffee with council on Tuesday, the 5th of March. I believe there's one this week too. Christina and Matt.
Yeah, ours is just for chamber members.
Yeah, it's just for chamber members down at whatever
Sprinkle
that
City.
Sprinkle City. And ours is at Whole Latte Love. And Matt and I are trying to work up an evening one. And we've got a couple locations, so we'll get them in before the election. The one question I have, did we get the postcards out then? And the Friends of Council or City, do you know if those were sent out?
Are you talking to me?
Anybody that would know.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't talk about that during department reports anyway, but
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm sure they were sent out then. But I encourage all of you. I've started knocking on a few doors, talking how important this is. People have a misconception of this. For I think it's 35% that are not paying anything. The most it's going to cost them is what, 0.5%, and they got to get with it, and it's about time we've done something, and hopefully the levy will pass. So that's my report.
Christina?
Yeah. So I was wondering, Catherine, since you're here, it's great to have you here. Would you mind giving just a small update on parks? Like, I know that there's been some work happening at Dogwood. I think it's, low-hanging fruit stuff, but would you mind just, as parks development person?
Sure.
I don't want to
Not
put
a
you on
lot
the spot,
right
but
now.
yeah.
Last time of year, a lot happening, and, as far as anything new, we are, waiting out election.
Right.
There are some planned scheduled updates to the roof and some downspouts and things like the Dogwood Shelter. Dogwood Shelter is incredibly popular. It's already completely booked out, for the summer graduation parties. People love it. Playgrounds had some equipment due to high use. People love the equipment. And so we've had to have some repairs. The zip line had some issues. The other rocker had some issues. We've corrected the turf issues. Again, heavy usage. We have some other things we're, in the works on, but it's a little soon because, we don't know. We have a request into the capital budget to get some funding to do some things, and it's premature to talk about it unless we know what that is, whether the answer is yes or no. We're hopeful that it's yes. The state does recognize that parks are valuable in communities, but everybody's asking, so we're one of many. But down the road, as I have a little more detail and a little more confirmation on funding, I think I can share more. I don't want to get people too excited for things that may not come to fruition.
No, I guess I just meant even there, was some social media talk that the dogwood, there was plywood up in front of the dogwood pool, like locker room, and that's just.
Oh, in there,
Those are
we've done
just-
some renovation.
Yeah.
Yes, we have cleaned up the restrooms that needed it quite a bit, changing rooms, and we have new toilets and urinals and sinks, and the open area where you first walked in and the birds would just sit and, do what birds do. That's where we closed that, cleaned it up, really cleaned it up. And I think patrons will notice in the restrooms this summer, a much fresher look. We did it very economically. We didn't rip things down. We tried to just renovate them. So the stalls were painted, and everything will look brighter, cleaner, hopefully smell better.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. And there are capital funds that come from the revenue that's generated at the end of the year every year, right? So
Right, with our contract with clients.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. That's all I have, just Catherine's report.
Thank you, Catherine. Next time I'll split you off the administration. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No.
I don't have much for my report. I'd say, make no mistake, our community isn't broken. I mean, if you look at all the things that have happened over the last 3 years, it's impressive. And it would just be a shame to slow down now. We have a lot of momentum. There's a lot of good things going on. Want to call for new business again? Seeing none, moving on. Our meetings calendar on March 4th, we'll have a committee of the whole. And on March 11th, we will have a regular city council meeting. On the 18th, we will not have a meeting. It will be a spring break. And then we'll have a regular council meeting on the 25th. Nice. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Absolutely.